Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. For today's video, we're going to be doing a video that is long overdue, and that is a full face of MUA makeup. As you've seen before, I have done a video and I had 5 items or 5 makeup products that I was reviewing, but today we're going to do a full face. There's a couple of items obviously that I'm missing, but I will explain why as we go along. But without further ado, let's get some makeup on our face. So firstly we'll go ahead with primer, and I got a pro/base primer oil that looks like this. It has gold flecks in it, and it is a super absorbent facial priming oil formulated with gold flakes to add luminosity, leaving a radiant, flawless and dewy finish. So this is what it looks like, and it was £4. Nothing I have here cost more than £5, so just trying to open that. So this is what it looks like, and it has a pipette. So let's grab some of that. For once we have a pipette that actually sucks it up. I'm just going to put a few drops in the middle of my hand, and then we'll apply that to the face. So it is an oil. It smells like lavender, which is actually one of my favorite scents. Super relaxing and calming. So I think I took a bit too much, but I'm just going to rub it down the neck as well. So this is what it's looking like on the skin. So very glowy and hoey. So I'm just going to let that sit on my skin for a couple of minutes, see how much it absorbs, and then we'll move on to some foundation. Okay, so I've left that for about 3 or 4 minutes, and it hasn't fully absorbed, but it has absorbed slightly. So I think we're just going to go ahead with the foundation now. So for foundation, I got the Makeup Academy Pro Base Longwear Matte Finish Foundation, and my shade in this is 150, and it says full coverage longwear formula with a matte finish, blends easily for shine control that lasts all day. So because it is matte, that's why I chose a glowy primer. So hopefully it works and we don't end up looking really flaky. So as usual, one side with a brush, one side with the sponge. I have however just dampened my sponge with some priming spray rather than water, just because I have a primer oil on and we don't want that to separate. It comes in a frosted glass component, and then it has a spatula on it, so it isn't very hygienic. So I think I'm just going to stick it on the back of my hand, and we'll go in with the brush first. Chose a really good shade. I've never used a primer oil before, but it seems to be working really well with the foundation, so I think I'll be doing that more often. Then on this side we'll just go ahead and use the sponge. I'm just going to spread it on the face to make it easier for the sponge. So this is the side with the sponge, and this is the side with the brush. I think the priming oil helped to enhance the glowiness because it is a matte foundation, so I really do like the finish. First impressions, really impressed by both of these. We'll see how it wears because I am going out this evening, so we'll see how it wears, and I'll update you in the description bar, so have a look down there. Moving on to concealer. We got the Pro Base Full Coverage Concealer, and it's a lightweight cover-up for imperfections with a smooth, flawless finish. And this I got in shade 140. My idea was to go slightly lighter than my foundation, but it looks very light, and it also has more of like a peachy pinky hue. So we'll see how it matches. So as usual, it's also in like a nice frosted bottle. The applicator on it is not very nice. It doesn't pick up a lot of product, so you keep having to go back in. So I'm just going to blend it out with my sponge again. So the concealer was £3, which isn't that bad, I think, at all. It's quite affordable. We'll see how it performs though. So it is very brightening, but I don't think it's as full coverage as it's claiming to be. Firstly, it is not full coverage like they say it is. I think it's more of a light to medium coverage. It was definitely too light for me, but we'll make it work. Once I've added some bronzer, it will all blend in nicely. Next we'll move into a finishing powder, and for that I got the full coverage matte pressed powder, and it is also in the shade 140, which is the same shade as the concealer. It is a long-lasting full coverage matte powder that prevents excess shine for a flawless finish. So I'm not sure if it is a finishing powder or if it is like a foundation powder, but we're going to be using it as a finishing powder for sure. It is matte as well. Most of the products on the site were more matte, so I know not everybody likes matte, but I have my days. Sometimes matte, sometimes more glowy. So just start off with the under eyes on a small fluffy brush. So it does add coverage, as you can see. It seems to be like a peachy color, so I'm not sure if this is good for under the eyes, but we'll just continue. Then just grabbing a fluffy brush, I'm just going to go ahead and set the rest of the face. So even though this is a mattifying powder, I feel like you can still see the glow from the primer, and it actually looks really nice on the skin. It adds a very nice sheen to the skin. So I wouldn't recommend it for under the eyes, but as an all-over powder, I definitely recommend. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Sun-Kissed bronzer that was from my previous video from MUA. If you haven't seen it, I'll just link it up here. And this is a soft tan bronzing powder that adds instant color and definition. So this was one of the first bronzers I really liked, so it's part of my project pan, but it pulls a lot more orange on my skin now that I'm like don't have a tan and slightly lighter. But anyway, let's go in with some of this. Like, as you can see, it's very orange, and it tends to get a bit patchy, so that's why I've added this to my project pan, because it isn't the most amazing. I'm not sure if I said how much this is, but I think it was, yeah, the pressed powder was actually £2.50, and it is really worth it. I'm really enjoying this glow on my face. It looks really nice, and I'm usually not a glowy person because I get really oily, so I don't really like glowy products. I'm not sure if the finishing powder did add a glow though. It kind of looks like it, but I'm not 100% sure. It might be the concealer. So I'm going to also take the bronzer, and we're just going to throw it through the crease of the eye. I didn't get an eyeshadow palette because most of their palettes are very shimmery, and it's mostly shimmers, so I thought we'd just go ahead and do like a nice natural look with the bronzer, and I'm just using that to define our crease. Next we'll move on to blush. So this is also from the previous video, and so is the highlighter. So for blush, I got this blushed palette, and it is a duo blush in the shade Ginger. I'm just going to mix them together, I always do. It does have like a waxy layer on top. I don't know if you can see like the shimmer on top, but it has like a weird waxy layer on top, but it still works. So I'm just going to add that on the cheeks. It's a very like a natural pink color for someone with a darker skin tone like me. And then again, I'm just going to dip into the darker side with a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and that I'm just going to add on my lid. Blending it into the bronzer. So yeah, the blush I would recommend. I think they do have a few different shades. I definitely want to go for something more peachy these days, but the pink does look really natural and really pretty on the cheek. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that still. Moving on to the highlighter. Yeah, this is the shimmer highlight powder, and the shade is Radiant Cashmere. As you know, I don't really enjoy this anymore. It is very glittery and it just sits on top of the skin. So just tapping off that excess, we're going to add it to the high points of the face. It is a nice tone, but like I said, it's like if you look really closely, it's got fine particles that are just sitting on the skin. Then I'm just going to add it also to our brow bone, just to bring that forward on the tip of the nose, and then just on the bridge of the nose over here, bring that a bit forward on our Cupid's bow. I don't think I would recommend the highlighter. I did like it before, but there's better highlighters out there at the drugstore for sure with a similar price, so I would definitely skip on that one. Next we'll move on to mascara. I know I said I wasn't going to buy mascaras, but this intrigued me. It is the Amplify Statement Lash mascara, and it is full volume lash effect, which is my favorite. It's got a cool component. I really do like it. Let's see the wand, if I can open it. There we go. Oh yes, without the devil spikes on the top, that is what it looks like. And I usually really love plastic wands, so we're just going to, oh, it grips the lashes really nicely, separates them, and that's one layer. So far I really do like that. We'll add the bottom lashes once the top is dried, but this was £3 for this mascara, and I really think it might be a good one. And that is the bottom lashes done. It is quite wet for under your eyes, so yeah, it's quite hard to blink. I've already smudged it, but we'll fix that once it's dry. As you can see, I just smudged it even more, but let's just wait for that to dry down before we do anything else. Next we have some setting spray, and it is just a Pro Base, everything's Pro Base basically, but Pro Base fixing spray, and it's all day long wear setting spray. Long lasting microfine makeup fixing spray. Extend makeup wear with a weightless formula that applies easily with an invisible finish. For best results, apply at the end of your makeup application. So that was difficult for me. Just priming the sprayer. Going to, the first ingredient is actually water, which is good. There is some aloe in it, but I don't actually see any alcohol in it, so that's good. It's really much better for your skin when it doesn't have alcohol in it. It just tends to dry your skin out quite a bit. And it's added a luminosity to my skin as well. It doesn't say that it's luminous. It also smells like cucumber. Oh, I really like that. I would 100% recommend this. It is really good. With no alcohol in it, smells like cucumber. Sounds great for me, just what my skin would like. So I'm just going to take down my hair and then we'll finish this up. So for lips, I did not get a lipstick because I had two from the previous video, but I accidentally left them in South Africa, so I didn't bring them along with me, and I thought I did. So we only have a lip liner, and we'll just top it with some lip oil. So this is the one I use most of the time. It is the Intense Color Lip Liner in the shade Diva, and it is like a dark red tone. My lips are really crusty as well, so it's probably a good thing I'm not wearing any lipstick. Anyway, lining my lips. Just like that, and then we're going to go ahead and just add a lip oil on top. And there we go, and this is our finished look. It looks really glowy, and I think it looks really good. But that concludes the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and it was informative. I don't really hear much about MUA. I have seen a couple of new launches that they've done, and let me know if you'd like me to try them. But I don't hear about them as often. It is very affordable, and most of the things I have tried from them have been great. So I don't know why I haven't seen much like coverage about them, but 100% recommend. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know down below in the comments, and let me know if there is anything else you would like to see me try. Remember to subscribe and click the bell icon for notifications every time I upload. But I hope you all had a great week, and until next week, bye!